Welcome back, beautiful people, to yet another Invincible Season 3 review. Today we're going to be taking episodes 5 and episode 6 and smashing them together into one video, and I already know what you're thinking. How is he going to pull that off? Don't worry though, friends. Just grab those snacks, sit back, relax, and let's get started into these reviews. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with the jingle, that way you never miss a new upload. Alrighty. The main reason we're smashing 2 episodes into one review today is because I found that episode 5 isn't the best that the season has to offer. I personally found it incredibly boring and hard to sit through. I'm not exactly sure what it is for this one, it's mostly just dialogue filled. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a non-violent episode, but this one just doesn't hit the mark for me. Opening with Titan walking his daughter to school, and I do want to apologize for calling him Isotope in episode 3's review. I love how much of a softie he is for his daughter and his community. I'm not sure exactly what he's done in the past, but I forgive him. He's the only villain, if you even want to call him that shows he's truly not a dickbag by separating himself from the business.
What'd I tell you about family time?
We got a problem, boss.
Flashing to the prison, we got Multi-Paul breaking himself out in like the most brutal way possible. This dude is just multiplying himself into his smoothie in order to break the door. But unfortunately his efforts go wasted getting collared so he can no longer multiply. Just as Mama Kate comes in to give him a stern talking to.
I was this close to convincing Cecil to put you on a team to make up for all the shit you've done. Now, they're gonna add years to your sentence.
But Paul spits some solid facts her way, and he's not completely wrong.
You think Cecil and the GDA and the Guardians are any different? They sent you to your death against the Lizard League.
It's such a great perspective to have. The Order uses his powers to commit crimes and don't care if he dies, while essentially the GDA is the same. If she dies, they'll just go out and find a replacement hero like we already saw when she disappeared with the Immortal. Debbie wakes up Mark with some freshly made pancakes as Eve sneaks out the window to ring the doorbell. But Debbie already knows what's up. Just look at her face as Mark is trying to explain. She knows it wasn't a movie. I don't care how quiet and soft you're trying to be. One half thrust probably shakes the whole house. Bringing up how Mark and Eve want to get their own place, making Debbie a sad mama. I know they're trying to make this sound like a cutesy scene, but Eve sounds terrified of the apartment.
You're actually serious, huh?
Which I wouldn't blame her. You've been dating for like a day and this dude's like, alright, time to get our own place. Stupid flyaway. That made it worse. Deciding to create their own superhero service as a means to make income. Just as we join back with Titan discussing breaking out Multi-Paul from the prison with Mr. Liu, but he is not having any of it.
No.
That is until Mr. Liu makes a threat that he can't refuse.
I hear little Fiona's becoming quite the entrepreneur.
But luckily she's okay at home.
Fiona!
Daddy?
Telling him how proud she is that she sold all of her cookies.
A tiny old man with a metal mouth bottom.
I hate Mark for saying this.
I don't even know how to set up my email. And you created a whole business.
Mark, fuck you. You were born in the technological booming age and you're telling me that you don't know how to set up an email? Get real. Debbie intrudes, freaking out that Oliver's gone missing, just as we join back with Titan and Isotope discussing what just happened with Mr. Liu, but Isotope isn't having any of it. Explaining that
last guy who went up against Liu got eaten.
Came out as fucking dragon shit.
Mark and Eve go out searching for Oliver, but he's fine just being a kid, shredding it up, punking out some kids. Joining Teen Team for the first time this episode, Rex leaves Ray a note outside of her door that looks like it was crafted by a kindergartner. For a nice homemade dinner in which he prepared himself, making Ray Niagara Falls. I'm getting whiplash from how quickly our locations are changing now that we're back at the Pentagon prison, so that way Titan can talk to
Machine Head.
But Machine Head's not here to play games.
Cut the shit, Rocks, for brains and get to the point.
He's also not stupid.
Oh, I see. It finally happened. You had a visit from an old guy with metal teeth and a bodyguard the size of Nebraska.
This entire interaction is just Machine Head shitting all over Titan. There's too much to include without a visit from the copyright fairy. The gist of everything is that Titan has 2 options now.
1, you figure out a way to get Liu's stabby little friend out of Hawk. Or 2, you and your precious little family are Dragon Chow.
Both are just terrible options. That's the name of the game though, baby.
There's always a bigger fish.
Titan ends up trying to break into the prison by himself, which is exactly what he wanted in order to draw out Invincible, so that way he can explain that if he doesn't listen to him, a lot of people are gonna die.
This is still some bullshit.
I guess that worked. Showing him that the city has improved underneath his control, explaining about the Order and how he needs help to break out Multipole.
Yeah, no, we're not doing this.
Thought you superheroes cared about saving lives.
But Titan's got the moves.
You're not getting away, huh?
We all look the same to you, hero?
That shit was so fucking funny when I first watched this episode. I lost my shit. If I have to see
Mark?
Be depressed and sad one more time in the season, I'm going to lose my mind. It's like they didn't want to waste a bunch of the animation budget yet, so they just kept putting in a bunch of still frames of Mark being sad. Eve telling him he did the right thing, however.
Your time is up.
We'll see if that's accurate.
Fuck!
Yeah, that'd be my same reaction too. You just got double crossed by Isotope and then the Elder Dragon just spawned on top of you. I have to say though, he handles it the exact same way I would.
Fuck you, fucking dragon!
Unfortunately, that wasn't enough.
And R.I.P. Titan.
Now Eve and Mark are getting the call to come help out the prison, which I remind you, is what their business is about. But here's Mark.
I screwed up. I don't want you getting hurt because I made a mistake.
Yeah, you did. Maybe if you warned the prison or even took Titan's warning, you'd be there at the prison doing your job, guarding it. You can fly faster than any jet on the planet. Even if he was lying to attack someplace else, you could just leave and go to the different place in no time. But having Shenron attack the prison until you get there isn't enough of a threat. Get real, Mark. Yet Eve has turned into a real capitalist.
Besides, I bet we can charge more if there's two of us.
This fight is so weird. Eve turns into a Power Ranger. They end up breaking Multipole and Machine Head out of their cells, which to my understanding is like the two worst people to break out, allowing Multipole to break off his collar.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, he's thinking about it and your little prison has done nothing. I'm sorry, I don't care. Lady Majin and I are such Eve haters. Thinking they finally beat Liu by bashing his brains into the ground. Machine Head joins in on the fun by showing up to Liu's body as Isotope steals his bodyguard, causing a free fall of like 20 stories before Machine Head kills Mr. Liu, causing Titan to become the highest on the criminal ranking system.
Thanks for the help, hero.
Mark and Eve have another one of their rooftop talks while we join Machine Head at the Order, taking the head seat from Liu.
Woo, it's so good to be back, amigos.
As Titan gives his demand and surprisingly Machine Head agrees.
That guy, watch out. Smarter than you think.
Ending episode 5 on Kate finding one of those cutout paper chain people that you used to make in elementary school, as Mr. Liu is revived. But wait, we're not done yet, you silly gooses. I promised 2 episodes in this review and I'm a man of my word, or at least I'm trying to be. So here we go. Let's get right into episode 6 titled, All I Can Say Is I'm Sorry. This episode is another that has little to be offered in my opinion, but it does have Aaron Paul's voice acting, so that works I guess. Too bad it's like one of the worst characters to ever be shown in the show. Opening on Aaron's character, Scott, hanging out at the park with his sister Jessica and her daughter Gretchen, learning that Scott has powers from Gretchen wanting to see them.
So cool!
Just before grabbing a coffee and seeing their demise from the Chicago fight between Omni-Man and Mark, which from his perspective I can understand how he blames them. I mean, if you came out of Starbucks and saw Invincible holding your niece's detached arm and then being carried away by Omni-Man like a baby, what would you think? This dude is determined though. With help from his wife, he gathers over 3,000 signatures for some sort of petition. It's never mentioned, unfortunately, since Scott's a bumbling fool.
My sister, Jessica.
He explains that Jessica raised him since their parents died and how much he loved his niece. Feeling no justice is being served for the Chicago incident, not only killing his sister and niece, but also the thousands of other people that have died.
Then open an investigation. Let a jury decide. Give us justice.
But sadly, he's hit with the reality of politics.
I'm very sorry for your loss, but there's nothing I can do.
Doesn't look like Scott likes that answer too much. Showing his determination yet again, we see him working for the GDA, secretly watching clips from the Chicago incident. just as some scientists are testing something that catches Scott's eye. Lunchtime is here and Scott is not beat for the banter. Getting mad for everyone glorifying the heroes even though they leave thousands dead in their wake, but we've heard enough about that already. What really catches my eyes and ears in this scene is what knockoff Agent K has to say.
Maybe you've all forgotten, but Invincible is the only real weapon we've got right now if more Viltrumites show up. Till 2A grows up, at least.
I truly think Oliver is going to be a beast in the future. Speaking of Oliver, he's kicking some vegan elephant ass over here. Getting mad at Mark and Eve for using Elephant Man as training.
Wait, are you just using me as a... Hey! I'm not your training dummy!
Sure you are.
Sadly, reality hits when Oliver talks about everyone forgiving Nolan when he gets back. Bringing up valid points, but not valid enough.
Hey, can you blame them?
Joining back up with Powerplex.
Invincible!
Oh my god, yes, Invincible, we get it. It's like your word of the day or something.
Powerplex, will make you pay!
That was much better this time.
Are you serious? This dude is straight up practicing his fight monologue to his wife? That's ridiculous. I despise Powerplex. They didn't show how he did it, but somehow he stole the kinetic energy nodes from the GDA and is now having Becky insert them into him via hammer. Testing out his powers. You think he'd aim a little bit further away from his wife? Or, you know, not at home when you have a sleeping baby on the other side of the wall? Next scene is just dinner at the Graysons with Paul hanging around.
When I started in real estate, there was a bit of a turf war going on in this high-end neighborhood. I was the only agent anyone would work with. It's all about reputation, right? Yeah, you get it.
Nothing too much happens here. They just talk about school and things. You know, typical small talk as Powerplex is on the other side of town letting his emotions take over. Somehow surviving from his newly found kinetic powers. Mark, however, is on a double date with William and Cyborg Rick.
Yes! I know it's not Thanksgiving, but this guy just brought the turkey!
As Amber and her new man show up. It's unnecessarily awkward at first, but then guys will be guys, I guess.
You read Seance, dog?
Yeah, do you?
Since I was 12.
Breaking news of Powerplex destroying the city, begging for Invincible to come out so that way he doesn't have to hurt anybody, but Mark just says, fuck this, we're bowling. This is like a 5-minute sequence of him just begging for Invincible to come out, but I will say, it took 20 minutes to get to the title card and I'm not disappointed. This shit is so funny.
This is about the thousands of people murdered and the countless other lives destroyed. Why is above the law?
My favorite thing about this title sequence, though, is this dude in his car not beat for any of this. He just wants to get home from work. Shapesmith gets sent to stop him, but that doesn't work.
Yeah, we need backup.
He just gets his ass kicked while Powerplex dips out to go cry at home, tweaking out that he almost forgot the memorial tomorrow, breaking a lamp with his energy, being a bad father.
Check. Oh.
Leaving their house for the memorial, Paul's car won't start, but luckily he has 3 superheroes there with him. Maybe not so lucky though. Paul is freaking the fuck out.
Oh my god!
Look at Debbie's face. She's like, Oliver, I'm trying to make this work. Stop showing me he's a scaredy cat. Joining in with Teen Team for the first time this episode, Rudy is going hard in the science. Creating a device to fulfill his creepy pedo fantasy. He creates this device for Monster Girl that stops her from aging, that way they can stay the same age and date, so that way they don't have to worry about her dying from transformations. Which is sweet until you remember that Robot is a 50-year-old fetus living in a biotank. Sorry, before stealing Rex's DNA to make a clone in order to be with Monster Girl.
I'm not trying to fix you, Amanda. You're perfect the way you are.
See, that's creepy as fuck. Breaking our necks to join back with Mark and the family at the memorial in Chicago for everything that happened in the incident, just as Powerplex shows up.
Jessica and Gretchen Duvall.
Like, bro, did you see the names on the memorial behind you? There's thousands of names and you think they're going to remember those 2 in specific? I'm sorry, I know you're sad that you lost your loved ones, but let's be real now, Powerplex. Yet again, begging for Invincible to come out of the shadows.
Invincible! I know you're here!
But gets Eve instead.
Okay, you're coming with me.
Using special gum powers that come out of nowhere. I feel like each episode they just decide to give her new powers.
You guys can take it from here.
Alright, Ex Machina Eve, do your cocky hair flip and fly away. On his way to the GDA prison, bashing his brains and back against a wall like a student in the back of the school classroom.
Stop it!
The plans works though. Man made an escape. Returning to the memorial, Eve is comforting Mark as he's asking all the right questions after seeing all of the names on the memorial.
But shouldn't I be seeing stuff like this? Shouldn't we really understand the consequences of what we do?
I personally think yes. If you see all the death and destruction that your fighting is causing within the cities, maybe it'll help you take the battle outside of town where there's no civilization. It reminds me of this one Avengers meme. Rex and Ray are having their first small argument at Teen Team's base since Ray wants to quit being a superhero, but Rex is not about it whatsoever.
Let's quit being superheroes and just be nobody.
Powerplex is having realization set in since his plan didn't work and now knows that the GDA will soon be on him, and he's right since Donald is briefing Mark as we speak. Learning he's been tracking Mark finally has an inkling on who's been sending those orbs to spy on him and his family, but we already know that's not true.
I'm afraid those weren't his. Cecil was telling you the truth when he said they weren't GDA technology.
Wanting to meet him, Donald informs Mark that he isn't in their clutches since he escaped the transport van earlier. Mark gets his wish, however, once Donald gets an incoming call.
Oh no.
Scott sends a video of his wife and baby tied up with duct tapes over their mouth to lure out Invincible, which works, but it's completely fucked up. That baby can't be more than like a year and a half old, and he has it tied up with duct tape over its mouth in a collapsing building. Showing up in hopes to talk no jutsu Scott, Mark informs Scott that he knows about his sister and niece. Before Mark talked too much, asking the $1 million question that we all know the answer to.
Why do you get to live when so many others died?
Because he saves lives. Mark sidekicks him to the wall, going to save the others before getting spit on and his brain fried. However, revenge never goes as planned since he made his wife and son into human barbecue. But like every villain, of course he blames everyone but himself for his failures.
This is all your fault!
Invincible stops at the GDA prison to talk to Scott in hopes to give him some peace of mind.
I hope that's a comfort to you.
But it doesn't.
My wife and child are dead.
Alright Scott, that was kind of your fault though.
Sooner or later, I'll find my way free. And then I will find you.
I highly doubt it. You were one of the shittiest villains we've ever seen. Closing the episode with our usual Season 3 Mark and Eve rooftop talks, as another Engstrom camera is spying on them.
This will do.
Oh man, shit's about to get real. Alright friends, that's going to do it for this Invincible Season 3 review. I know this was a little bit longer review since we put 2 episodes into one, but honestly I didn't find either of them worthy enough for one video each. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know with a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment any shows or movies that you would like to see be reviewed in the future. Subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a new upload. Do you want more of me? Check out my Twitch channel along with all of your other favorite social medias like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Until next time, I love you guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bad guy is outside just tearing shit up, flipping over buses.
Raping your churches, burning your women.
That's when Rex just completely says, fuck this dinner and fuck paying for these crackers. I'm gonna go chuck them at this rock monster. Teen Team is helping Mark figure out who that camera belongs.